Hey everybody, and welcome to the show we like to call Pancrase, Legends of Mixed Martial Arts. I'm your host, Rob Wu, and my analyst is the babyface assassin himself, Josh Barnett.
Back again with another episode of Pancrase here. What can we see today?
Well, today, Josh, we're going to watch the 1997 anniversary show. So Pancrase has been around for 3 full years at this point. How much growth in mixed martial arts and Pancrase have you seen during that time?
Actually, I would say that at this moment, Pancrase is just gaining steam and getting bigger and stronger, and this may actually be considered one of Pancrase's heydays.
And our first match, we're going to see Iku Osami Noah versus Kosei Kubota. Any insight on that, Josh, besides the fact that these names are a little bit hard to pronounce?
It's all right. Ikuhisa Minowa, also known as the Punk, or now going by the title of Minowa Man, due to his affinity for a Japanese manga called Kinnikuman. Kubota, tough guy, a young guy building his way up into the ranks, but Minowa, very charismatic and sort of unpredictable individual, goes by the name of the Punk, as I said, but also known for considering himself a real pro wrestler. So look for all kinds of wild antics and especially leg attacks from Minowa.
All right, I guess it's wilding out. Nick Cannon's got nothing on this.
Kosei Kubota versus Ikuhisa Minowa.
As this fight starts, and Josh, you told me that Minowa considers himself a pro wrestler, not really a fighter.
Right. As Pancrase's roots truly lie within professional wrestling, that is what really inspired Minowa to join Pancrase and become one of the initiates into the Pancrase dojo. Now, like I talked about there being a second generation, Kubota and Minowa would happen to be, in my opinion, the third generation initiates into the Pancrase dojo, and showing you the expansion and also the popularity that would bring in various athletes to join the Pancrase League.
And this fight now goes down to the mat. Is there one fighter you favor on the mat, Josh?
Well, both are pretty raw at this point, but I think after not long, Minowa would have to be the person, I would say, with the advantage on the ground.
It's just Kubota's third fight. He's 1-2 so far.
Minowa working for the sleeper choke from behind on Kubota.
And Minowa looks. What does Kubota have to do to get out of this position?
He's got to fight the hands. He's got to stay on those hands and not let Minowa sink in that short choke like he's got working there. Stay on the wrist, stay on the hands, keep his chin down, and then eventually work to get those legs separated off of his waist so that he can create some space and clear out of there.
And the round is over as we start our next round. Kubota possibly looking for a takedown, unsuccessful though. And now Minowa throwing the left knee, and both fighters exchanging a couple of palm strikes.
Yeah, those couldn't have felt good. Kubota looking to land off the top here.
And Kubota throwing some palm strikes while Minowa's on the ground, illegal, although the fighters don't usually do this.
Yeah, at this point in Pancrase, as we see this went to a draw, sort of a difference of styles are starting to emerge in that the ground striking, not so uncommon.
All right, let's go on straight to our next match. It's Kim Jong-Un versus Chris Chalmers. Now, Kim, one of the first Korean person to participate in Pancrase. How much have you seen him improve?
Well, Kim, a very tough individual, very big in concerns to most of the opponents he would fight. Really a journeyman within Pancrase, but as coming from Korea had yet to really enter into the MMA scene, and it was people like Kim Jong-Un that would give inspiration to other Koreans that now have sprouted into a very successful MMA endeavor and promotions within Korea, like Spirit MC, to name one, and also helped to create their love for some of the Japanese product now making its way over into Korea.
And now he's going to fight Chris Chalmers, who is making his MMA debut.
Chris Chalmers versus Kim Jong-Un.
And Chris Chalmers from Australia, it was a grappling champion in that country. He's in black, Wang in the red trunks.
Yeah, Kim there throwing an array of very flexible kicks, considering for a man of his size. Inside Kim's guard is Chalmers here, posturing up high, dropping back into a leg attack. Kim also reaching for the leg of Chalmers.
And both fighters grabbing a hold of each other's leg. The referee taking a look. If there's not enough action, he will break the fighters up.
And that's the referee making Chalmers let go of the heel hook attempt, as at this point in Pancrase, heel hooks are considered illegal after a rash of bad knee injuries.
And we saw right there, Chalmers loses another point. He only has one left, so he has to be very cautious. No margin for error now.
Yeah, Kim using that opportunity to get the toe hold and force Chalmers to go for the ropes. Chalmers with a BJJ background dropping into the guard and tapping out to the forearm choke from Kim. Not usually something we see.
No, we don't. And Kim wins just his second fight in his career, now 2-8. Chris Chalmers, talk a little bit about that forearm choke, Josh. Like you mentioned, we usually don't see players or fighters tap out because of that.
Well, if you do get the right position and are able to center your weight and drive that forearm bone deep into the throat, it can be a very effective maneuver, usually just for reducing the amount of air intake that a fighter can get in. But in this case, Chalmers looked very fatigued, and when Kim dropped his weight onto his throat like that, he didn't really have the energy to escape, and Kim getting the win with a very simple yet effective move.
Yeah, all right. Let's move on to our next fight. It's Yusuke Fuke versus Takafumi Ito. And Josh, how do you see all this playing out?
Fuke being the veteran, but Ito no stranger to the ring at this point, and Ito really sort of carving a name for himself. He started off very strong, had some difficulty after that vicious knockout against Kunioku, but I think at this point somewhat recovered in his career, and I'd actually say the young blood gets the win in this match.
All right, let's see if that prediction holds true.
Takafumi Ito versus Takaku Fuke.
As this fight starts off, Fuke in the black, Ito in the red. And Ito was actually the 1995 Neo Blood champion. The Neo Blood is a tournament where some of the rising stars in Pancrase are discovered.
Nice low kick by Ito, the southpaw.
Now, Josh, I understand that Yusuke Fuke used to train where you live.
Yeah, he actually stopped by AMC to learn from like my kickboxing instructor, Haru Shimanishi, and train with the likes of Matt Hume and Todd Bjornathan, guys who also competed in Pancrase at the same time.
Now you see Ito having the
again attacking the arm. Nice transition by Ito.
He's got the arm bar, and Fuke has to tap out. Now, Fuke looked like he was relaxing, taking his time, but Ito, no letting up, wins 5:52.
I agree. Fuke looked like he was a little too relaxed. Didn't think that he was really in any danger of getting caught by Ito, but Ito, smooth as butter there, sliding right into that arm lock in transition here as we take a look at the slow-mo.
And can you believe, what is that butter line, Josh, that commercial?
Smooth as butter?
Well, either way, right there, the arm bar, very painful. Fuke, a disappointing loss, but of course, both fighters shaking hands. Sportsmanship very big in Pancrase.
And the backwards baseball cap, sort of a signature of Ito's.
Now, did you wear that during your post-match?
No, I'm not a backwards baseball cap kind of guy. In fact, I try to keep my hair, as nice as possible. Thankfully, to the makeup woman today.
I have to thank her too, I think. All right, we have to take a quick break, but when we come back, Yoshiki Takahashi is in action. Welcome back to the show. Now we're going to see Yoshiki Takahashi take on Jason Godsey. And now, Josh, Jason Godsey, a Golden Gloves champ, but in Pancrase, you have to be good on the ground, not just with your fits on your feet.
I think that's actually a little misleading about Jason Godsey. Jason really more known for his wrestling and catch wrestling ability, going for the submissions, which is pretty much a staple of Pancrase. Godsey finding early on success with his wrestling and grappling ability in events like Extreme Challenge and other cage fights within North America, beating the likes of Jeremy Horn and other well-notable stars. Against Takahashi, though, a really tough, hot-headed veteran known for power in both of his hands, and they call him tough. I like to call him wild man.
All right, let's see if Jason Godsey can deal with the wild man.
Jason Godsey versus Yoshiki Takahashi.
Godsey here is gonna have to watch out. Now look at the do on Takahashi.
Truly a wild child and a quick start to this fight.
Godsey closing the distance early on, using his size advantage against Takahashi, clamping down on the head, looking for the front choke or at the very least the front headlock takedown.
And Jason Godsey is 5-2 at this point. And interesting note, Takahashi is the main character of a manga, but I don't think he looks like that in the manga books.
No, not quite. But again, on the receiving end of another low blow is Takahashi. I swear if this guy can have kids after his Pancrase career, it'll be amazing.
And the look on his face says it all. Although he has to worry about Jason Godsey right now, not about
right,
sons
exactly.
and daughters.
You know, he's main character of a manga called Tusk. Might as well rename it Junk at this point.
And both in the corner, and Godsey getting the best of Takahashi so far. Takahashi trying to throw the kick, and now Godsey has him in the headlock.
Yeah, wasting no time, and you know, even though he did commit the foul and taking Takahashi out of the ring as Godsey, even though he committed the foul, Godsey is veteran enough to realize that it's going to affect Takahashi's performance right away. Gets right on Takahashi and tries to make the most of any advantage he may get actually from the low blow. Interesting enough, Takahashi, I believe at this time this is around the same time that Takahashi competed in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, gaining a win and handing Walid Ismail, a famous and very well-known Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion, his first loss.
Oh. As the fight restarts in the center of the ring.
Godsey cautious, looking to initiate the clinch, and Takahashi looking to unload.
And Godsey throwing some kicks, not afraid of Takahashi. Godsey just moving in.
Godsey a little flinchy against Takahashi, the swinger, getting in, closing that distance and hitting with a few short palm strikes, looking for the double
Now
leg
he's vulnerable.
Godsey looking to secure the neck of Takahashi. He's maybe able to turn this fight around.
What does Takahashi have to do, Josh? I'm sure he can't keep this position.
He's got to punch that elbow to the mat, get flat, try and get an underhook against Godsey and get his way back to his feet. Even giving his back up like this is fine as long as he can control Godsey's hand, hit a stand-up, shrug him off, and well,
Takahashi taps out to the rear naked choke. Jason Godsey, very impressive. Like you said, Josh, even though he's a Golden Gloves champ, he's very good on the ground.
Yeah, in fact, I would say his strength truly actually lies on the ground, Godsey here. Godsey also, another anecdote, trainer of UFC fighter Chris Lytle previously, and Alex Stiebling.
And let's move on to Kyuma Kunioku versus...
You have trouble with that one too, huh?
Kunioku.
Kyuma. That's it. Yeah, I stumble over that one all the time.
All right, we'll work on that backstage. But he's going to fight John Lober, who is known as The Machine. Why is he known by that? Is it because of his fight game?
Basically because of the fact that John would just not quit like a machine. It just keeps going and going and going and going and going. Known for having incredible amounts of stamina.
All right, let's see how The Machine does.
Kyuma Kunioku versus John Lober.
John Lober, as you see, has the word machine tattooed across his stomach. Is from Huntington Beach, California.
Yeah, Lober, having previous experience fighting in cage fights in Russia, and recently, at this point in time, at the Extreme Fighting Championship against champion Igor Zinoviev, taking him to a draw.
Lober now with the side control.
Striking as he's transitioning. We'll see how Kunioku deals with the ground and pound attack, as he is probably unused to this.
Lober trying to be patient, not wanting to rush anything against Kunioku.
Wrenching the neck is Lober, applying pressure against Kunioku. No submission yet, but driving that elbow onto Kunioku's face, trying to enact some movement from Kunioku, maybe make a mistake. Now looking to unload.
And he starts doing that. And I think he just pulled Kunioku's hair. Josh, that is not legal.
Well,
you said he was a street fighter.
He is a street fighter. And also Lober is used to fighting in competitions where you got to remember, at this time, hair pulling, headbutts, even groin shots could have been legal.
And he gets a yellow card for that foul, and not only that, he loses the position. Both fighters now back up on their feet.
Back on the feet now, Kunioku and Lober. Let's see if Kunioku can take advantage, but he's taken down immediately off of the kick attempt by Lober.
And once again, the ref stops the fight. It looks like Lober violated another rule. I think he might get a red card for this. He put his hand around the neck of Kunioku, I think.
Nice takedown by Lober, well timed. And there he is grabbing the throat of Kunioku's with that serial killer choke.
And that definitely is not allowed. He gets assessed a red card now. I'm not sure who explained the rules to Jason Godsey, but didn't do a very good job.
Well, Godsey, luckily enough, was able to interpret the rules, but Lober here is having some difficulty.
Oh, yes, John. What am I talking about? And so far, it does look like the machine is well oiled. Not looking too bad in his Pancrase debut.
Landing a few strikes as Lober, Kunioku returning in kind, and back in the clinch is Kunioku and Lober. A very big strike from out of the clinch.
Kunioku trying to respond as both fighters clinch once again near the ropes, and Kunioku brings him down.
Dropping to the guard is Kunioku. Not a very wise move, if you ask me. I think Kunioku really should have tried to keep the top position.
Now
working for the triangle, though, is Kunioku against Lober.
Once again, these fighters very close to the ropes. Lober knows what he's doing, should move Kunioku to the center. Doesn't get a chance to because the ref breaks the fight and will restart again. And there's only 1 minute left, Josh. Who's got to really push it to the metal to the
Well, actually, as funny as this seems, Lober, since Kunioku is the one who's got the lost points from the fouls as he works the nasty front choke against Lober. And he's set in.
He has got that front choke. John Lober managed to get out of it.
Lober, incredibly tough to finish. He would go on after this to have a fight against Frank Shamrock. And Frank threw every submission in the book at it, unable to finish Lober. And Lober actually coming out on top against former King of Pancrase, Frank Shamrock.
And this match is winding down. Lober still on top.
20 seconds left. Not much for opportunity for Lober to win this fight, it looks like.
And if John Lober wants to win, he's got to go for a submission right here. But Kunioku, very good defenses. Lober with the side control.
Big strike by Lober.
Does not knock Kunioku out, and Lober runs out of time. And the winner is Kunioku via the decision by the judges. And Josh, I think those penalties really cost Lober.
Yeah, I really think that if he hadn't incurred those penalties, Lober would have come out the victor in this match.
I don't know how great a student John Lober was, but I'm not sure if he really did his homework in going through that rule book.
Yeah, and like I said, I think it's really a case of force of habit, since the fights, a lot of the fights that Lober was engaged in at the time, rules basically consisted of no biting, no eye gouging, go at it. And Pancrase would be a dramatic change for someone like Lober, really more of a sporting environment than some of the earlier cage fights and no-holds-barred fights he would have competed in.
All right, we're going to have to take a quick break, but when we come back, Bas Rutten is in action. Welcome back, and now we're going to see Bas Rutten in action against Osami Shibuya. Bas Rutten looking like the machine, unbeatable recently.
Yeah, and Shibuya being not quite at the level of Bas Rutten, not even coming up into the contenders ranks to fight for the King of Pancrase title at this point in his career, got to be feeling a little in over his head.
All right, let's see if Bas Rutten can keep that undefeated streak in track.
Bas Rutten versus Osami Shibuya.
Shibuya has to be wary of the initial rush from Bas Rutten, an explosive striker and loving to get off to a quick start and knock his opponents out within the first minute.
And we saw what he did to Funaki not too long ago. As both fighters circling around each other a little bit.
Bas stalking Shibuya down, looking to throw the big strike. Big middle kick by Bas.
Does not connect though.
Luckily for Shibuya.
Very lucky. And Shibuya tries to return the favor, but he also misses.
Southpaw is Shibuya. Looked to throw many left side attacks against the orthodox fighter, Rutten, who should look to throw many right attacks, just like that right middle kick. Into the front choke is Rutten against Shibuya.
Like Rutten might have the guillotine on Shibuya now.
Nice power on Shibuya's part to lift Rutten up out of that, but Rutten lets go and lands the knee, and they are separated.
That knee to the body puts Shibuya on the mat. As both fighters now on their feet. Rutten looking like he's on the prowl against Shibuya, backing him into that corner.
Gotta watch out for the big right palm strike from Bas Rutten. Front kick by Shibuya. Left middle kick by Shibuya.
And Shibuya's game plan, I don't know if exchanging kicks with Rutten is what you want to do. And
no, but taking single legs like that is a great idea. Well, gotta watch out for that front choke. Bas is so strong he might pull your head clean off your shoulders.
And how does Shibuya get out of that choke as he just got out of it here?
Well, he passed to the side and was able to clear his head, and Shibuya gaining in strength and ability on the mat throughout his contest in Pancrase would go on to become one of the better grapplers within the Pancrase system.
Now Bas Rutten on the mat, Shibuya going for the knees of Rutten.
Yeah, nice backspin into the knee bar entry by Shibuya. Rutten wisely sitting up, looking to cross-face Shibuya to clear him away from his ankle is Rutten.
And Rutten, of course, a much improved fighter. When he first came into Pancrase, didn't have much of a ground game, was more of a striker, but now very comfortable down on the mat.
Yeah, at this point, you got to call Rutten an all-around fighter.
As we see Shibuya on the bottom, and what does Shibuya have to do to get out of this position?
Well, one, he's got to watch out for that choke from Rutten there, dropping the forearm across the throat, transitioning to try and catch the neck as Shibuya turned his shoulder, and Rutten keeping the pressure, squeezing the neck of Shibuya and making things altogether uncomfortable.
Now Rutten has the mount on Shibuya.
Working the arms is Rutten, looking for an opportunity to go for the arm lock. Sliding off the knee on belly. All the way through to the headlock is Rutten, locking up the leg of Shibuya.
And Shibuya, I'm not sure if Shibuya can breathe in there, Josh.
It's looking very tight for Shibuya, a very dangerous crank here.
Trying to shove Bas Rutten off him, though unsuccessful, and Shibuya taps out in the first round, 3:15. Bas Rutten actually calls that the Rutten crank, but break that down in layman's terms, Josh.
Well, the Rutten clutch is simply a headlock position. He locks onto his thigh with his right hand there. And then what he's going to do is he's going to reach back, hook that leg in a cradle-type motion, and hook in the inside of Bas's own left leg. Now that he's got them together, he brings his knees together, he brings his arms together, and essentially folds Shibuya up like a potato sack. And there ain't no way to breathe in there like that.
And if Shibuya does not tap out, he might have passed out. All right, and the next match we're going to see, it's Minoru Suzuki versus Kei Chiroyama Mia. And on paper, Josh, it looks like Suzuki should win this fight hands down.
Yes, it does. But Suzuki, at this point, has been having quite the slump and a very difficult time of it in the ring. And maybe this will be the match that will allow Suzuki to get back on track and show the Black Hall as we knew him.
All right, let's see how Suzuki fares.
Minoru Suzuki versus Kei Chiroyama Mia.
As this fight starts out, both fighters feeling each other out a little bit.
Nice right shote from Suzuki. Both southpaws here.
And Suzuki sticking his face out, telling Yamamiya to just hit me.
Go ahead, daring him to throw a strike.
And right there, he throws a strike to Yamamiya.
Middle kick by Yamamiya against Suzuki. Suzuki moving forward. Inside low kick by
And Yamamiya throwing some knees and now palm strikes. Hey, it looks like Suzuki's getting his wish.
And Yamamiya not backing down one bit against Suzuki and looking to carve a name for himself. Certainly in the back of Suzuki here. Middle kick.
And Yamamiya, nice single leg takedown there, Josh.
Ending up in the guard against Suzuki. Let's see what Yamamiya has in store against the master on the ground.
But on the ground, as we said, Suzuki has a huge advantage. Yamamiya, not much of a submission specialist.
Yeah, one of the slickest grapplers and an incredible catch wrestler is Suzuki.
Yamamiya in the full guard position. And there's not enough action, so the ref breaks the fighters up. They'll restart at the center of the ring.
Suzuki taking notice to Yamamiya, not taking his eye off of him and getting right in Yamamiya's face.
And so far, Yamamiya holding up his own, Josh.
Yeah, Suzuki may be a little put off by the fact that this young boy in his eyes is standing up to him.
Yamamiya not afraid, coming in, throws a high right kick right there.
Right hook slap, an uppercut by Suzuki, returned by a shote from Yamamiya that lands its way home.
And if you're Minoru Suzuki, you want to take this fight to the ground, don't you, Josh?
I think he's getting a little caught up in the exchange, probably because he's getting a little hot-headed at this juncture with Yamamiya. Still on the feet later on in the fight.
As they move ahead, it looks like Suzuki hurt his leg on that kick as he went down.
It looked like Suzuki caught his foot caught Yamamiya in a strange way and tweaked his knee like a heel hook.
And Suzuki is back up on his feet. He does lose a point, however, but he has 5 points, so he has 4 more to go.
As you see, his left leg is bandaged up there. It looks like he could have possibly torn ligaments in his leg with that kick.
And they just want to make sure Suzuki's in good enough shape to continue. And you know Suzuki, he's going to come through.
Right, he doesn't want to quit. Certainly not against Yamamiya, the younger fighter, and not against anybody for that matter.
As we move along in the fight, the fighters in the clinch.
Last 10 seconds.
And Yamamiya throwing left and right palm strikes, connecting on some of them. Another left palm strike and knees to the face of Suzuki.
Suzuki looking worse for wear here and very immobile.
And this fight will go to the judges. And Mamma Mia, Yamamiya pulls off the upset, Josh.
That's a good piece.
And Minoru Suzuki, another disappointing loss, but as we said, his career started out great, but towards the latter half, just not the same Minoru Suzuki.
No, and I really attribute that to all the wear and tear incurred from all the pro wrestling done previously to this. This is not Suzuki's first career here. This is his third career, where you got a guy like Yamamiya, young guy, coming up through the ranks of Pancrase, training under the likes of guys like Suzuki and Funaki.
Minoru Suzuki definitely not at 100%. And later in the press conference, we saw Yamamiya cry, talking about his victory. So it just goes to show you how heralded Minoru Suzuki is in the Pancrase world.
Yeah, it's a very serious endeavor for a lot of these guys to fight people like Funaki or Suzuki or Shamrock, because a lot of them grew up not only being inspired to join Pancrase by watching the fights of these great athletes, but some of them are actually being trained by them in the Pancrase dojos, and so it's like going up against their heroes in the ring.
Yeah. All right, now we're going to see Masakatsu Funaki fight right after the break. Welcome back, and now we're going to see Guy Mezger fight Masakatsu Funaki. Josh, this looks like it's going to be a very exciting fight.
Funaki, as we saw last episode, coming off of a very devastating knockout loss to Bas Rutten, if not incredibly gutsy. Mezger getting stronger as he continues to grow within the Pancrase ranks and really becoming a top contender within this. I believe this may even be a ranking match.
All right, let's see how Guy Mezger fares against Masakatsu Funaki.
Masakatsu Funaki versus Guy Mezger.
Now, Funaki being ranked number 1, as we saw on the previous screen. Mezger being ranked number 4, looking to climb further up the rankings here and get his shot at the King of Pancrase title.
And Mezger just came back from the States. It's his second fight back. He did participate in UFC 13, where he defeated Tito Ortiz. As we see Masakatsu Funaki coming into the ring, these two fighters actually fought in the 1995 anniversary show. Looks like they're turning this into an annual thing, but I don't think anyone minds.
Fight!
Not to mention, I don't believe you'll find hardly a better referee in the sport of MMA than Hiroto. Mezger here, leading with the shotes and looking for the body lock takedown. Funaki getting the body lock in return.
And Funaki pinned to the corner. The referee might just step in and break this if the fighters don't do anything.
Mezger looking to pummel inside the double underhooks of Funaki.
And Josh, from your experience, is there a bias in how they referee?
I haven't seen any bias, and like I said about Hiroto, I think some of the best referees in the world are in Pancrase because of so much experience. A nice front kick by Mezger, pushing Funaki back. All the experience of all the different types of matches that they have refereed, and so many of the great fighters that have come through there.
And Mezger with a nice takedown.
Spinning knee bar attempt by Mezger. Funaki wisely seeing it coming and easily escaping at this point.
And with two guys who are so fundamentally sound, Josh, this might just come down to who makes the first mistake.
I agree with that, Rob. That is a very accurate assessment. And Funaki, I think, you might want to look to turn it up a little bit and put Mezger on his back instead of allowing Mezger. Nice low kick by Funaki, but instead of allowing Mezger to press the action.
And Funaki, I'm not sure he wants to trade kicks with a guy like Guy Mezger, who has some of the best kicks and knees in the business.
Right. And Mezger there landing a nice side kick earlier, flush. Funaki, the southpaw, taking a right middle kick from Mezger. Mezger keeping the distance. Looking to measure up one of those kicks against Funaki. A nice inside low kick by Funaki. Middle kick by Funaki.
And Mezger comes charging in. Now he tries to go for the takedown. And now he is in the full guard. But Funaki holding a tight grip, not letting it go at all.
No, not at all. And Mezger looking to find a different opening here, perhaps, as he works around the top side of Funaki, dropping into a knee bar. Nice transition from the upper body to the lower body by Mezger.
And Funaki trying to stop it, but he is near the ropes in case Mezger does get it on.
Funaki looking calm, working to break free of the knee bar, maybe looking for a toe hold of his own.
And Guy Mezger's very impressive ground game
so
far.
Dangerous position for Funaki, rolling and adjusting his leg to take the pressure off and keep it from being submitted by Mezger. As Mezger drops back into the knee bar again. Funaki with the crossface. Mezger comes back on top, and they restart in a neutral position.
It looks like the fundamentals shown by these two guys, they just can't catch each other in a move. And right when I say that,
nice armbar triangle into the arm lock by Funaki. What a move.
And Guy Mezger taps out. He loses. Now it looks like Guy Mezger was the one dictating the action, but like we said, Masakatsu Funaki, at any time, any second, he can get two.
Very slick. And you know what? Mezger, as you can evidently see here, very, very technical and slick wrestler himself. Nice transitions from upper body to lower body. But Funaki, he didn't get to where he is as like the ace level for nothing. And what did you say recently before losing to Rutan? Won 10 of his last 11 bouts.
And that somersault again, as we see from Funaki, and Funaki doing a very good job staying patient, Josh, not wanting to rush anything, waiting for Guy Mezger to make that one mistake, and when Mezger did, this match was over.
And that's really a classic example for introducing someone to MMA. There's so many different aspects that at any moment you could be winning a match, and in a heartbeat, that match is over.
All right, in our next fight, we're going to watch Yuki Kondo versus Jason DeLucia. And Josh, you know a lot about Yuki Kondo. You fought him.
That guy will not give up for anything. An incredibly powerful heart, very accurate and deadly striker, and a very well versed on the ground as well. He was considered to be Funaki's disciple growing up in the Pancrase League, and is one of the second generation Pancrase fighters that would eventually go on to become King of Pancrase himself.
All right, and let's see how he fares with Jason DeLucia.
Jason DeLucia versus Yuki Kondo.
Well, DeLucia here getting his first chance, I believe, at a King of Pancrase title and not wanting to waste any opportunity he's got.
And you actually defeated Yuki Kondo for the King of Pancrase.
I did, but it was no easy feat, and I don't think that Jason DeLucia will have any easy time with Yuki either.
So how hard was that fight compared to all the other fights you've had in your career?
It was a very difficult match, I will say that much. It went 3 rounds, and more than it being difficult, it was an incredible match that was very moving at the same time.
Now, I know you said the King of Pancrase trophy is heavy, but what about that belt?
The belt is pretty sizable too, and in fact, I don't think there's a nicer belt in the whole entire sport of MMA, boxing included.
All right, let's watch the fighters get introduced. Here's Jason DeLucia in the black. As we said, a practitioner of the dark arts, and well, if there's any time to prepare a curse, the King of Pancrase title match, this is the perfect time.
Maybe he managed to snatch a lock of Yuki Kondo's hair when he wasn't looking, maybe from one of his hairbrush. But Yuki Kondo, the champion right now, I believe he secured the belt with a win over his mentor, Masakatsu Funaki. DeLucia here ranked number 2, making his try at owning the gold around his waist.
And before we start this fight, we're going to have to go to break, but any early predictions, Josh?
I think DeLucia's going to come out the gate hard and fast, and he's going to use his unique kicking skills to keep Kondo upset and off balance.
All right, and after the break, we're going to find out who is the King of Pancrase. Welcome back. It's Yuki Kondo versus Jason DeLucia for the King of Pancrase title match. Let's not waste any more time and get to it.
Nice high kick to lead off the match and lead thrust kick by Jason DeLucia. Both men being southpaws.
And as you see, DeLucia shoving Kondo across the ring there.
And aggressively attacking with the striking is DeLucia to get off to a quick start against the champion, Yuki Kondo.
And DeLucia continuing to use those kicks. Is that what you would do if you were facing Kondo, Josh?
Well, if I was DeLucia, I probably would. He's got a very interesting kicking attack and has been very successful for him in Pancrase, and also using those unusual and unorthodox kicks to follow through with those shote palm strikes. He's knocked quite a few people out with these combinations.
And if you're Yuki Kondo, what's your game plan against DeLucia?
As per usual, look for that counter strike to put him down and out. Look for DeLucia to lead with a kick or one of those punches. And when you see your opening, strike hard and strike fast. Kondo known for actually counter striking and for starting off a bit slow, but keeping a very cool head and almost zen-like presence in the ring.
And Kondo has DeLucia on the mount right now.
Inside DeLucia's guard, Kondo working to break it open with his elbows there, pushing against the knees, driving into the inside of DeLucia's thighs, causing pain and pressure. DeLucia pulling Kondo in tight by the head, keeping him close. And that's not because he cares, because he wants to lock up a triangle like he tried there by shoving Kondo's left arm in while extending his right, or to go for the arm lock.
Now, and what kind of holds should Kondo try to apply in that position?
Well, first off, Kondo needs to establish head and hand control from DeLucia and not allow him to keep a hold of his head or his hands. back to the feet they go. And next time, if Kondo was to end up in DeLucia's guard, he needs to work on keeping his posture high and breaking that guard to move on to a better position or attack the legs.
And both fighters on their feet. And do you favor Jason DeLucia in a stand-up game?
You might think that, considering the way things are looking right now, but no, actually, I think Kondo is the better striker, the more pinpoint striker of the two, and the one with more knockout power.
And DeLucia, once again, going for the takedown.
Nice rolling knee bar attempt by DeLucia.
Both fighters with a hold of each other's leg, but now Kondo has a hold of DeLucia as DeLucia trying to turn Kondo around, and he does, and now DeLucia is in the side control.
Nice dropping into that armbar is DeLucia off the bridge from Kondo, securing the leg. This is a very dangerous position for Kondo to be in.
And Kondo, in a little bit of trouble, has to keep those arms together.
Great defense by Kondo, separating the leg, shoving his head through, turning in, and now ending up inside the guard of Jason DeLucia.
Josh, Jason DeLucia came this close to that King of Pancrase title. He just needed to separate Kondo's arms, but Kondo wisely not allowing him to do so.
I know DeLucia's mind had to be going a million miles an hour thinking, all I got to do is I'm right there. I've finished 1,000,000 arm bars, and this is just going to be 1,000,001.
And now he finds himself on the bottom. Kondo on top.
Sliding through the guard is Kondo. DeLucia relaxed and composed, figuring, positions, it's just a position. Maybe I'll get my opportunity to bridge and end up on top again.
As you see DeLucia extending his arms, why is he doing that, Josh?
Maybe trying to bait Kondo into going for the arm lock so that he can counter or escape. It could also be to just create space there. Getting the underhook was DeLucia, but Kondo getting space again and looking to pass the guard of Jason DeLucia. Kondo getting to the side control. Also, it could be just to try and position Yuki Kondo around so that he can move into a reversal or some sort of counter submission hold.
Once again, Kondo has the side control. And DeLucia trying to wiggle out of it.
Rolling up on his shoulders is DeLucia. Kondo sitting tight in the north-south position, also known as Kami Shiogatame in judo.
Very interesting tidbit there, Josh.
Rolling up again on his shoulders, DeLucia trying to insert the hooks and perhaps take Yuki Kondo's back or maybe attack with the arm lock.
And now Kondo back in the full guard.
Yeah, Kondo being very wise to it, seeing the, again, passing to the side control. DeLucia having not very much luck. Attacking the top wrist lock is Kondo.
Going for the arms, DeLucia not allowing him to take it.
Kondo, I think he's setting up the armbar.
DeLucia in a very dangerous position. Now he manages to get out of a possible armbar. Both fighters displaying great technical skills and fundamentals.
Yeah, excellent vision on DeLucia's part, seeing that armbar coming and reacting accordingly to escape. Headlock by DeLucia, dangerous for Kondo. Kondo wrapping the leg around.
Kondo manages to roll that over, and now he is back on top. DeLucia on the bottom on the mat.
These two looking like a couple of tumblebugs around there, just going from position to position to position and attacking, showing great high-level grappling expertise here in Pancrase.
And it looks like DeLucia also, with those old-school rules, no palm strikes while your fighter's down, DeLucia's also abiding by that.
Yeah, I think DeLucia really sees it as sort of an honorable position to not take advantage of the ability to strike to the face like that, and really it's about respect, I think, more than even wanting to be champion. If he's going to be champion, he wants to do it under the rules to which he and the traditions that he was taught coming up in the Pancrase ranks.
DeLucia with the side control.
5 minutes remain for a clear victor to be decided in this King of Pancrase match.
DeLucia still in the side control. Kondo maybe content to stay in there just to catch his breath for a second so he can muster something up later.
Well, DeLucia really seeming to pick up the pace some and looking to step over Kondo's head to get some sort of arm lock attack perhaps. Kondo coming out the back door.
And now Kondo on top, mounting DeLucia. And there is 3 minutes left in the bout. Kondo with the side control on DeLucia.
Winding down, and I think DeLucia sees his opportunity to become champ. Perhaps.
And now Kondo going for the ankle of DeLucia.
Again dropping into a toe hold. Is Kondo, look at that toe hold.
He might have finally got it. And there we have it. Yuki Kondo is the king of Pancrase champion. Jason DeLucia, we saw moments ago, very close to winning the title, but in all of a sudden, 27 minutes worth of fighting, the last 20 seconds, he lost the fight.
A very dangerous attack by Kondo. Wonderful toe hold and perfectly executed to defend that King of Pancrase belt and show exactly why he is champion.
And look at him jump on, not exactly the Rootin jump, but
the Kondo jump.
The Kondo, Air Kondo.
Air Kondo.
And as we see Jason DeLucia, both fighters have to be exhausted 27 minutes straight.
What a great show of respect between these two fighters.
And I think DeLucia was a little surprised on how well versed Kondo was on the mat. Kondo known as a striker, but most of this fight took place on the mat.
And not very many mistakes made by either on the mat and the grappling exchanges, but until that end there, looked like DeLucia just a lapse in judgment there for just a second, and Kondo immediately transitions to that toe hold and finishes that bout.
All right, so Yuki Kondo is your champion, and that does it for all the fights we have this week. But before we go, let's check out our highlight of the day. And that does it for this week's show of Pancrase, Legends of Mixed Martial Arts. I'm Rob Wu.
Josh Barnett.
Join us next week.